We're back to the Neil Haley Show and transferable skills, how you have certain skill sets in specific industries, how you can take them to the next level based on that skill set. My guest today is going to talk about it, Peggy Kelley. Peggy, thanks for stopping by. How are you?
I'm great, Neil. Thank you for having me. So great to be here.
It's fantastic that you're here. And I want to just kind of jump really quickly, Peggy, to your background. And then we'll talk about transferable skills and how that, how certain skills in the specific industry can transfer them to being in that same industry, but doing something different. What's your background, Peggy? Tell us about it.
I am an event designer and producer. And so with that, I actually am a storyteller. And storytelling has to do everything from marketing to entertaining to connection, all aspects. And as we know, in 2020, the events industry had a very interesting turn. And that's what brought me to this topic of transferable skills.
All right, well, fantastic. So these give us the story, because as an event planner, when COVID hit, your life was turned upside down, wasn't it, Peggy?
It stopped. I was literally sitting in Las Vegas at the special event, which is our industry conference, and everybody had their laptop on their lap, and all they heard was cancel, cancel, cancel. And there were 8,000 of us there, and we said, okay, what do we do? And we all took a breath. We took a step back, and then we had to look at what we do, how we do it, and who do we impact. And so with that, I went back to my roots, which is art and writing. And writing became marketing. Marketing became a skill that could be done for anyone, anywhere, anytime. Transferable skill. I ended up meeting a periodontist of all industries in the dental world, and he was doing a virtual event, because in the beginning, I thought, I'm just going to flip to virtual. This is easy. I've got this. And I didn't have it because I'm not a virtual girl in the beginning. I became one over time. But in the meantime, I needed to help another industry tell their story.
Okay, so then telling their story. So you, again, in the event planning world, your focus as an event planner, what kind of events were you planning? All types, right?
I do social, I do weddings, and I do nonprofit. So I am what you would call a relationship-based, connection-based, community-based event producer.
Got it. So from there, when the virtual world didn't work as much, you got in a certain industry and then use those skills to transferable for other things then, right?
Is that absolutely? Kind of,
so I mean, kind of, yeah.
In the events world, everybody thinks, well, it's a party. Well, in a relationship-based event, there's outcome, especially in the nonprofit world. And the nonprofits really had to keep on going. Weddings move forward, corporate move forward, but nonprofit is truly based, their existence is based on their events. So we had to come up with a new plan.
Okay, so based on that new plan, the skills you used, you transferred them to where? So that's
basically what we did is we put together a program that's called the Perfect Day. And it's when you bring your team together and say, what did we do yesterday? What are we going to do today? Who's in charge of marketing? Who's in charge of connection back to clients? And most important, what is our impact? And then to measure that on a daily basis, so that you're basically building one day on top of the next day on top of the next day. You're also keeping your community together.
Ah, and so you have to keep that community together, it sounds like.
That was the key, because people felt lost. And whether it was within the events industry, but all industries felt lost. They didn't know where to go. And by bringing them together, especially in what we call a morning huddle, that kept them connected. It also gave them purpose. They had accountability. And from that, they had ownership. And from that came success.
All right, fabulous. That's such interesting information. What steps would you say for people to transfer skills? What advice would you offer?
I would go back to what you love. I love to write. I love to draw and paint. Writing became my avenue in my pivot.